Thank you, Rabbi Miriam Margles, for leading us in song. And thank you, everyone, for joining us tonight. I'm Josh Fagelson, and I'm the president and CEO at the Institute for Jewish Spirituality. Perhaps, like me, you too find yourself regularly feeling overwhelmed right now at the pain and heartbreak of the last 10 days, at the constant ache in my heart and my head as I worry about friends and loved ones who are fighting, who are in harm's way, who are mourning. At the pit in my stomach I feel when I stop to think about what all this could mean for so many people, places, and causes I care about, for the safety and well-being of so many human beings and the world as a whole. It's overwhelming to me, and I expect it's overwhelming for a lot of us here tonight. At IJS, our avodah, our mission of sacred service, is to help you find some refuge in this storm. And that's what this gathering is about. This is meant to be a space to help us hold all our emotions with awareness, honesty, and compassion. It's meant to be a time for building greater resilience amidst the horrors that we're witnessing. It is meant to be a container to help us be with our feelings without becoming flooded by them. Because of that, this is also not a space to argue or engage in political discourse. There are plenty of other times and places for that, and I'm making use of them. But this is a time and place for a little less doing and a little more being. It's a space in which I hope we can, for a while, turn off the fire hose of information, quiet our minds, be in touch with our bodies, listen to our hearts, and connect with one another in the loving life force of the universe. We're going to have the chat open at a few points tonight, and when we do, I would ask that when you enter comments in the chat, you speak only for yourself and only about your experience. To quote our teacher, Parker Palmer, there's no saving, fixing, or advising here. The words we offer tonight should be heartfelt and mindful, and we'll be monitoring the chat to help us all stay true to these intentions. So as we begin tonight, we're going to open the chat, and I'd invite you to enter into the chat your response to this question. How are you feeling right now? There may be a whole spectrum of feelings. All of them are welcome here. You are welcome here. You can just see the words pouring in, and so quickly it's hard to keep up, but a lot of heartbreak, a lot of sadness, a lot of overwhelm. So you can keep those coming for a minute. Just a few weeks ago, my family and I, like probably many of you, built our sukkah. And tonight, I'd ask you to help us build a different kind of sukkah, a sukkhat shalom, a sanctuary of peace, where we can hold one another in our broken hearts, in all that we may or may not be feeling, in all of the complexity of this moment, in our mutual yearning for the end to violence and terror in all of its forms. We will be led tonight by my wonderful colleagues, our senior core faculty members at the Institute for Jewish Spirituality, Rabbi Sam Feinsmith, who will offer a short teaching and lead a meditation practice, Rabbi Mark Margolius, who will lead us in prayers for healing, the safe return of captives, and the mourner's Kaddish, Rabbi Miriam Margles, who you've already heard and who will offer a closing song, and to get us started, Rabbi Miriam Klotz, who will lead us in a somatic practice, reconnecting with our bodies. Miriam.
Thank you, Josh. Hello, everybody. Let's begin by taking a full breath in right where you are, however it comes into your body, and let it go. The breath release. Tonight, I'm going to guide us in a somatic or physical practice to help you ground and to be with whatever is arising in this difficult and scary time. Just from the chat, can see so much strong emotion, feeling, energy moving through us in our very different and overlapping ways. You might be feeling a lot of things in your body, and you may not be feeling anything. None of us has exactly the same responses to the stress and the traumas of what's happening now in this time. Whatever you're feeling in your body, it's okay. You're okay. And you're okay not feeling okay. For me, a bellyache has been my constant companion since October 7th. I can't will it away, but I can practice bringing my kind attention to the sensations and paying attention, softening to what is happening in my belly and in my body through gentle touch and movement and breath, and allow my mind to drop into sensation and feeling when I notice I've gotten lost in thinking. The medicine of kind and mindful movement can help us heal and be with all that's arising and passing. It says in Psalms, Harofe lishforei lev. God, sacred awareness, heals broken hearts, as we heard in the beautiful recording by Shir as we joined each other tonight. And I offer this body practice now to help you touch into the healing power of awareness that flows in your own body, just as you are and where you are right now. If anything I ask you to do makes you feel more anxious or upset or uncomfortable, you can choose to opt out. You can also engage this practice off screen. Just turn off your video. Trust your body to let you know what will serve you. So we're going to do some movements that flow like the beat of the heart, contracting, expanding, lifting, lowering, connecting us in our different ways to the pulse of the blood that flows with the breath and through the heart. So with that, let's begin. See that you're seated in a relatively comfortable position. You might want to come, if you're seated back in a chair or a sofa, come closer to the edge, and so that your feet can touch the floor. And again, return to the breath and receive the next breath and let it go. Next, as you inhale, bring your shoulders up to your ears and hold the breath and hold the shoulders to your ears. And then release the breath and let your shoulders relax away down from your ears, sliding down your back. Breathe in again and fill your throat and chest. Feel them expand with this nishmat chayim, this breath of life. Release this breath and let the throat and your chest soften as the breath empties. Breathe in again and draw that breath all the way down into the belly if you can. Breathe it in and feel the belly expand, and exhale. Allow your body to soften and your belly to soften in particular and to empty. Breathe all the way down next as you inhale, all the way down into your pelvis. Squeeze your pelvic muscles into your spine and squeeze your butt muscles. And as you release the breath, let these muscles relax and let your bottom rest a little more heavily on your seat. Let the seat support you. Now, once more, inhale and receive the breath all the way into your arms and your legs. You might stretch and spread your fingers and your toes. And then as you release the breath, gently let your arms and legs release tension and rest in relative stillness. As you continue to let the breath flow naturally, notice any sensations you may be aware of in your body right now. Temperature, emotional valence, tightness, looseness, whatever it may be, heaviness in the limbs. Touch these sensations kindly with your awareness. Just notice them. Breathe into them and through them. And now, if we'd like to join me, I'm going to invite you all the way down with this awareness focus to your toes. I'm going to invite you to wiggle your toes inside your socks or your shoes, or maybe your bare feet free in the air. Wiggle your toes. Bring awareness to these feet. Lift, lower the heels. Maybe lift your feet off the floor and move your ankles in circles. So the idea through sensation is to feel the aliveness of these feet, your feet. They connect you to the earth, to ground. So bring your feet down and let them rest on the floor, on the ground. And with your next breath in, press your heels into the floor and lift your toes up. Feel the muscular energy moving through the feet, those toes lifting. And then exhale. Plant your toes down and gently lift your heels up. Just feel what that feels like. You're drawing awareness down to the lower legs. You can just continue to explore, moving your heels up and down a bit, or you can leave them lifted and squeeze the calf muscles slightly. Feel that energy, that aliveness, the muscular pulsations as you squeeze tightly. And then as you release, all of us with the next out breath, let the heels rest down on the floor, just like your balls of your feet, your toes. Take a full breath in through the whole body. Fill this body with this breath. And then as you release the breath, let it go and let awareness drain, drop through the feet, right into the ground. You could imagine it beneath the floor, underneath you. Now, with your feet and legs relatively heavy in this earthiness, I want to invite you to bring awareness right up into your head. And I don't mean by that thinking mind, right? I mean the physical head, your physical head, the skin, the skull underneath the skin and your scalp. And I'd like to invite you to a practice that I learned from a friend and teacher of some of us, Rabbi Tirza Firestone, who brings this practice in service of working to help us ground and heal when we've experienced trauma. So you can take your right hand and bring it to the forehead. Take your left hand and bring it to the lower skull, the occiput, the base of the skull, right at the top of the neck. If you're comfortable doing this, you can let your eyes close. And just begin to bring awareness to the sensation of touch in both hands as they meet your head, the forehead, the back, the skull. And just notice what that feels like, softening shoulders and bringing your awareness of breath right up into the region, this area of the head. And then slowly begin to hug in with both hands to the front and back of the head. It's not a tight vice grip, but it's a firm pressure, like a hug, holding this head that can get so weary and so befuddled in the thought realm. Holding this head steady, it's okay. Drop into sensation. Just continuing to bring gentle but steady pressure. Take another inhalation, receive the breath and let it fill from the inside. The brain, the skull, the scalp, face. And on your next exhale, through the mouth, let it go. And even bring a little more pressure, if that's comfortable. And one more time now, release the pressure. It's comfortable to keep your hands and arms up here. We're going to do one more round together. As you inhale, bring a little more pressure. And just feel this hug to the head. As you exhale, release gentle pressure. And then firm it once again as you receive the next and final breath in this part of our practice. Big hug like you mean it to this beautiful, beautiful head of yours. And as you exhale next, slowly, really super slow, slower than you the thinking mind would have you do. Release your hands and let your arms just float gently down by your sides, or resting your hands on your thighs. And just receive the next breath. Let it fill you. And notice what's happening in this body, the upper body. And as you exhale, bring awareness back through this entire body, all the way back down again to your feet. Now, I'm gonna bring awareness. I invite you to bring awareness to that part of the neck just under the base of the spine and the wholeness of the neck area, the throat, the sides of the neck. And as you breathe in next, lengthen through your torso, but then as you exhale, keep that lengthening through your spine, but let the chin drop towards the heart. And again, I invite you to let your eyes be closed. In fact, they can be closed for most of the rest of this practice. Let your head move slowly from side to side, one shoulder to the next. Just feeling into sensations along the back of the neck, the sides of the neck. And then gently bring your chin back to center and lift your head up. And slowly bring your hands, eyes again closed if that's comfortable for you. And if you have glasses, just bring the hands around the glasses and just give your face a gentle touch, gentle pressure, kind touch, softening muscles, maybe a little massage to the jaw, to the temples, the sides, the outer creases of the eyes. And you might bring your hands to the fingers to your forehead and just massage, maybe just a little circle, one direction, another direction. And then let your hands again rest down by your sides. And I'd like to then, as you breathe in next, take your left arm and lift it up overhead. Just stretch it up and take your right hand and place it on your hip. And let the breath fill your body as you inhale and gently stretch over to the right side. And just one full breath into that opening along the left side of the body. In particular, the upper chest area, the sides of the ribs. Let them soften. And then inhale back up to center. And as you exhale, you can change out the arms. Take that left hand and rest it, the left hand on your hip. And then inhale the right arm up. And stretch and lift up. And as you exhale, stretch over to the opposite side. And for one full breath, that's all that you need to do. Just one breath, breathing space, breathing kind attention into that right side of the heart, of the rib cage, that side of your torso, and then lift back up. And as you exhale, let that arm float gently down again. Opening the sides of the heart, the chest, the rib cage is like a teva, an ark that holds within it this beating heart, these lungs enabling us as they work together to circulate and respirate life force through our bodies. As we bring our body practice to a close, I invite you to take one hand to your heart and one hand to the belly. And again, letting your eyes close if that's comfortable for you. And just feel the touch, like a hug, of your own hands to these centers of intelligence and feeling and awareness. And as you scan your body, receiving and emptying the breath. Just notice whatever it is that you're feeling, arising and passing. It's okay. And you can, throughout the rest of this evening and the rest of this practice and beyond, return to this gentle touch, touching into what's happening in this body, bringing kindness through your awareness and gentle breath to any areas that seek your sacred awareness and attention and your kindness. As you're ready, you can let your hands come slowly down and let your eyes open. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Miriam. My name is Sam Feinsmith. I'm a member of the core faculty at IJS, and wanted to share with you this evening a brief text to help us transition into a more contemplative practice, to support us to find an inner refuge in the midst of this great torrent that is upon us. And if I can ask you to please pull up the text, and for those who may want a copy for later, Ben is going to drop a link into the chat. This is the teaching from one of the Polish Hasidic teachers of the 19th century, Rabbi Mordechai Yosef of Ishbitz or Izbitza, in his book Mei HaShiloach, commenting on the divine imperative to Noah to build an ark in Genesis chapter 4, verses 9 to 14. And he teaches concerning the ark, the blessed one, that is God, gave Noah advice and protection until the days of wrath would pass. So when I read this text, I ask myself, whose wrath, whose anger, whose rage? The natural tendency might be to go to God, right, and say God was angry at humanity. But actually, if we look closely at the biblical text, it never says that God was angry. It said that God felt regret for having created human beings who were being horrible to one another. And the human condition at the time is described as one of, ironically perhaps, Hamas, right, which in Hebrew means violence. Violence. And so my sense is that our teacher here is talking about human violence, human aggression. And God was providing Noah with a refuge at a place where he could feel safe and protected until the wave of wrath that was moving through the world could pass. And similarly, all whose hearts are still on the path toward refinement can receive eitzot, advice from the ark. Just to say, the ark itself served as a kind of emblem, wasn't meant to be a one-time instruction to Noah, but actually it's instruction for us in our lives as to how to find refuge and protection from all the destructiveness and storminess that unsettles the world. Thus, we find in the words of the rabbis, if a person sees that suffering is coming upon them, they are to run to the inner chambers of the Torah. And it, which is to say the Torah, will give them advice or wisdom as to how to survive or be saved or find resilience. Now, the Torah for some of us may function in that capacity. Some of us may be able to actually go to the Torah and study Torah and find solace and advice for how to cultivate balance and resilience and some sense of spaciousness in the midst of difficulty, some sense of having a stable ground upon which to stand, but may not be the case for all of us. What I want to suggest is that at IJS, we teach that each one of us has inner Torah. Inner Torah. There is a source of wisdom, of divine counsel inside each of us. And that is none other than our faculty of awareness. And Ben, you can take down the screen share now. Our awareness can be this stabilizing force. It can act for us like a kind of Noah's Ark that helps us to find a shelter from the storm. You know, I've been feeling over the last 10 days that there's just this huge torrent of trauma that's been awakened, this huge wave of trauma that's been awakened. Trauma that isn't just ours, but trauma that goes back for the Jewish people thousands of years. And that's been smoldering just under the surface. Certainly felt that way to me personally, and sense that when I'm speaking to friends and colleagues, people in Israel who are close to me, who are on the front lines, as well as people here in the US and elsewhere. And that can happen when there's, you know, great violence in the world directed at our people. And what I want to invite us into tonight is the possibility that we might be able to find an inner refuge, not one that numbs us to our feelings or creates a kind of hermetically sealed environment where we can't feel anything, because actually the ark had a window. And it's likely that as Noah was in there, he could hear the cries of people who were suffering. And that's the beauty of awareness, is that it enables us, on the one hand, to be able to bear witness to our experience as if from a distance, as if we're standing up on a watchtower, looking down. And that helps us to hold whatever we're experiencing with some degree of honesty and equanimity. But at the same time, awareness is very warm. It's very spacious, it's very open. It can hold whatever is here in its tremendous compassion and care. So I want to invite us just for a short while now to settle back into a meditative posture that feels safe and supportive. If that means lying on the ground or on your belly, that's fine. If it means meditating while standing up, that's fine. If it means settling into a seated posture, that's good too. Only you know how to take care of yourself and what your body needs, what your heart needs, what your mind needs. And the eyes can be open or closed, whichever feels more regulating, whichever is safer for you at this time. We've certainly all been exposed to some very horrific images that no human being should ever witness. And it's possible that in closing the eyes, some of those images might arise in the mind. So you don't have to keep your eyes closed. You can open your eyes if you want. And if that's the case, keep your gaze slightly downcast. And I want to invite you to take a couple of deep cleansing breaths all the way down into the belly. If it helps, you can place a hand on your belly and a hand on your heart, as Miriam counseled us to do before. And as you breathe out, let go of any tension, tightness, holding. And you might notice that there is your breathing. And there is also this loving, embracing awareness. This innate intelligence or consciousness or sentience that knows our experience as it arises and passes and meets it lovingly, compassionately. The everyday thinking mind might say, I like this feeling, I don't like that feeling. The fact that I'm feeling this way is your fault or my fault or someone's to blame. I want to get rid of this feeling. I want to hold on to this feeling. But awareness just witnesses lovingly with an allowing, spacious gaze. I want to invite you to continue breathing in deeply all the way down into your abdomen and breathing out deeply. And just bear witness. And if that feels dysregulating, if it doesn't feel like that provides you with some sort of an inner arc, you can always focus instead on the sensation of your hands making contact with your legs or making contact with one another. You might notice how the breath, for example, or sensations in the hands, they're changing moment to moment. Just like waves, arising, cresting, subsiding. There's nothing solid here, just movement. And likewise, whatever our emotions may be right now, whatever our emotions may have been over the last 10 days, they're also moving, changing, flowing in, flowing out. So you might touch your heart with the kiss of awareness and just notice what is the nature of whatever wave that may be moving through you right now. And can you touch the emotion? Can you touch the wave and then soften deeply in the body, creating spaciousness and ease in the body and allowing the awareness to be wide open and spacious like the wide open sky. We're just touching gently with awareness and softening. Watching the movement. And if any of this feels like too much, you can always come back to the sensation of your feet on the ground. Feeling the solidity, the stability, the rootedness. That comes with making contact with the earth. Just seeing if we can embrace our experience here and now with the quality of tremendous, deep, spacious love. And I'll sing us out of this practice. And you can listen mindfully and see what arises for you. with kind curiosity. Breathe in and breathe out. This is what it's all about. To know that you are loved by an unending love. Hold on and hang in. Touch your sorrow, breathe it in. And know that you are loved by an unending love. An unending love.
Thank you so much, Sam. I'm Mark Margolius, Vice President of Faculty and Program at IJS. It's so good to be with all of you tonight. Earlier, we had an opportunity. Josh invited us to testify to and bear witness to each other's feelings, which included such immense sadness, really immense grief and pain, and some mentioned frustration. We can have a sense of being powerless, not having aware of the limits of our control. We want to take a few minutes tonight to realize that there are many ways, of course, in which we can make a difference. There are things within our control. And even if only for a few minutes right now, we can harness that pain, that grief, and transform it into a collective, really amazing collective force of love that we can extend and send to those who need it most right now. So we're going to take a few moments to direct our attention and direct our hearts to those who are injured, sick, wounded, suffering, those who are most directly affected right now. And according to our tradition, one who visits one who is ill or suffering lifts 1/60th of their suffering from them. There's even a retort in the Talmud, a rabbi says, well, if everyone chips in, we can lift that suffering. 60 people chip in, we can do that. And we have a tradition as well in the Talmud that the Shekhinah, the divine presence, rests over the bed of those who are ill. And we have the power to make the connection right now, even if we cannot physically visit. We can connect deeply, emotionally, spiritually, with every person who is in need of support and love and healing right now. So the chat will open in a moment. Ben will open the chat. I want to invite people to share, if you'd like, whether specific names, those for whom you'd like to pray for healing. And we'll include among them those who are held captive and direct our prayers towards them as well, for their well-being, for their safety, for their peace, for their protection, and for their return, for their safe return home. So please take a moment, whether you know someone personally, if you know names, If you've seen images of those in need of healing. And thanks to Ben for opening the chat. And please add the names or those for whom you're praying tonight for healing. Those who are held captive. And as the names scroll by, I invite you to recognize your deep and actual sense of connection to these names, to these people. And in a moment, we'll send our love their way. Thanks to so many of you for sharing. Thank you, friends. Let's pause here in the chat, if that's all right, and let's take a moment. Those who've been named, those who have not been named. And as we did earlier, I want to invite you, if you're comfortable, to put a hand over your heart to tap into your own capacity for compassion, to take the heartbreak, the heartache, and turn it into a spiritual tool, to turn it into an extended hand. We have a tradition as well that we can lift each other by extending our hand. So if you're comfortable as well, I want to invite you to take your other hand, extend it out as if you were sending out that loving energy, that healing energy to those in need, to those who are afraid, to those who feel alone, who may feel abandoned, those who may feel hopeless, to take whatever hope you have, whatever strength you have, whatever love you have, and send it their way. So let's just take a moment. And again, if you're comfortable closing your eyes, that's fine. Otherwise, not, it's fine. What's important here is not just to think about them, but to actually connect with them. As you breathe in, breathe into your chest, fill your lungs, your belly. With the exhalation, let that energy travel from your heart, through your body, through your arm, your extended arm, your outstretched arm, and send it through your fingertips to those in need of healing. May they feel held in love. May they feel embraced by this love that is coming their way. May their hope be restored. May they be blessed with Refuat HaNefesh, healing of their spirits. May their spirits be restored. Refuat HaGuf, healing of their bodies. And for those who are in captivity, may they feel our presence. May they feel the Shekhinah with them. May they feel not alone, not abandoned. And may they come home soon to be reunited with family, with friends. Bringing the outstretched hand back to your heart over the other hand. Take a deep breath. And we'll make some space as well for grief, for loss. And take a moment here for, again, open the chat, and those who would like to put in the chat the name or names of those who have perished, those for whom you'd like to say Kaddish tonight, those who are remembering and honoring precious souls of those who have died, whether personal losses or losses from the past 10 days. And here too, as we see the names, we can not just see a name, but also experience a neshama, a soul, precious reflection of the divine that remains present with us. And I'll ask Ben to put up on the screen the mourner's Kaddish, and those who are in mourning, if you're observing a yard site tonight, if it's your custom or you'd like to join in the mourner's Kaddish, you're invited to do so, and to rise either in body or in spirit with me and recite the words together. We can continue to add names afterwards as well, and you can unmute at this time. Yit gadal, kadash shemei rabbah, ma divra chimte v'yamlichte, hayechon v'yamechon, Dar v'tavel v'yitzonah
Shalom Aleinu, al kol Israel, al kol Israel, Tomei, Amen. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Amen. Amen.
Thank you so much, Ben, for sharing the screen. Passing this over back to Miriam.
Ben, if you would please put up Kaddish by Marge Piercy. And although everyone's muted now, you're welcome to join with me in reading these words. Look around us, search above us, below, behind. We stand in a great web of being joined together. Let us praise. Let us love the life we are lent, passing through us in the body of Israel and our own bodies. Let's say Amen. Time flows through us like water. The past and the dead speak through us. We breathe out our children's children, blessing. Blessed is the earth from which we grow. Blessed the life we are lent. Blessed the ones who teach us. Blessed the ones we teach. Blessed is the word that cannot say the glory that shines through us and remains to shine, flowing past distant suns on the way to forever. Let's say Amen. Blessed is light. Blessed is darkness. But blessed above all else is peace, which bears the fruits of knowledge on strong branches. Let's say Amen. Peace that bears joy into the world. Peace that enables love. Peace over us all, everywhere. Blessed and holy is peace. Let's say Amen. Friends, let's conclude with a prayer for peace. Let's draw strength from each other like strong branches, strong roots connected. Let's reach out in peace. Amen.
Thank you again, Miriam. And thank you to our other faculty members tonight, Miriam Klotz, Sam Finesmith, and Mark Margolius. Thank you to Ben Larson, who handled our tech tonight, and to the rest of our staff who worked behind the scenes to make everything happen. And most of all, thank you for showing up, for joining us tonight, for building and maintaining this beautiful and fragile Sukkot Shalom, this sanctuary of peace. I hope it was helpful for you, and I pray that our collective prayers and meditations will bring about a greater peace speedily in our days.